Depending on where you live in the world, you may feel earthquakes quite often. For example, I was woken up 2 days ago at 3:03 AM by an earthquake, and the city I live in, which is Christchurch, New Zealand, has experienced exactly 13,606 earthquakes since September 4, 2010. But what about our only natural satellite, namely the moon? Could that be a place to go to escape earthquakes? Turns out it's not. In fact, NASA has said that if humans decide to go back to the moon for a long period of time, quake-proof houses would need to be made for those astronauts. Most earthquakes here on Earth last for about 10 seconds thanks to Earth itself acting like a sponge, which dampens down the vibrations fairly swiftly. Moonquakes, however, can last around 10 minutes. Because of the way the moon is composed, pretty much like a large chunk of stone, the moon keeps vibrating for a long period of time. Even small quakes can cause long vibration periods. Because of this, just basic meteor impacts on the moon can cause the moon to vibrate fairly heavily dependent on the size and the velocity of the meteor. Considering some estimates point towards there being hundreds of millions of craters on the moon, this could be an issue for future dwellers of the moon. The moon doesn't actually have tectonic plates like Earth does, which makes moonquakes particularly interesting. Apollo astronauts left seismometers at their landing sites on the moon between 1969 and 1972, which allowed us to discover that there are 4 different types of moonquakes, with impacts of meteors being one of them. Another type of moonquake is one which occurs around 700 kilometers, which is 435 miles, below the moon's surface. It is currently thought that these might occur due to the tidal forces exerted on the moon by Earth's gravitational pull. According to one NASA geophysicist, these sort of moonquakes occur on monthly tidal cycles, usually in the same locations. Moonquakes are also caused by the crust of the moon expanding when the sun first hits it after being in the dark for 2 weeks. The moon's temperature goes anywhere from -233 degrees at night to 123 degrees during the day, remembering that days on the moon are 27 Earth days. Typically the worst sort of moonquakes are the ones which occur around 20 to 30 kilometers, which is 12 to 19 miles, below the surface. These quakes can last more than 10 minutes and have been observed as the equivalent of a 5.5 earthquake. These are only theories though. We have a limited knowledge of the moon's interior, but over time we will begin to fully understand how these sorts of moonquakes work. It does mean though that if we ever want to inhabit the moon for a period of time, we're going to have to build structures out of very flexible material to be able to handle these moonquakes. Then again, there's also the issue that Mars is said to be quite shaky too, but that's a whole nother topic. Thanks for watching this video. You can click on the left to see a playlist of some of our videos which I've created for you, or you can go on the right to see our last video, and at the top you can subscribe.